What's up, guys? Welcome back to a project that you guys have not seen in months, and really neither have we, judging by the amount of dust that is on this thing. It has been sitting around here for way too long. But we are finally working on the John John Fobra project. It gets its name because dad and son project, both named John, and it's not really a Cobra, but there's a lot of Cobra-like products on it, so it's Fobra. Anyway, we have the engine finally done. The reason this took forever is we were waiting on a set of comp cams to send us the camshafts on it. They had core problems. It took them forever. So now we finally have it here, and it's all ready to go. I got the headers over here. I got set up with the EGR plug today. So these are pace setter long tubes. We'll see how they fit. They fit in the budget, which is why we have them. Hopefully they fit in the car. And we have the engine bay just about ready to go. I have the electronics all kind of spaced out to where it needs to go. We have to pull the hydraulic stuff forward. Otherwise, everything else is kind of ready for it to go in here. I gotta get some hardware for the headers. Did some paint touch-up underneath the battery. It was really rusted here, so I sanded it down and painted it. Doesn't need to look A+, because you'll never see it, but I want to hopefully stop the rust from spreading. Otherwise, that is what's going on here. And I think that's about it for this thing. Finally just going together. This, if you guys have not seen an early episode, or if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe down below. But this one has a Tork Tech blower kit on it, which is what we're putting back on it again. We have to make sure the booster pump and stuff is working, because there's, for some reason, it broke a cylinder, broke a piston. I actually kept the piston, so I'll show you guys what the failure looked like on this car. Where is it? Here's our counter of shame from other projects. Oh, there she is right there. Bam, she gone. So that led to wanting to build it more reliably. Now the goal wasn't necessarily to make a ton of horsepower on this combination, because it needs more fuel system, it needs more blower more than likely. So it's really just to kind of get it prepared for the future if they want to start doing more bolt-ons. So we have a completely forged bottom end. It has camshafts, valve springs, and then now we're just going to make sure that it goes together nicely. And we're starting to kind of pick apart the project that as it is. I mean, this is a intake air temp sensor that was extended. I mean, it's soldered, I'll give you that, but it's still kind of jank. Vacuum lines are jank. The coolant lines that were on it are super jank. However, we're trying to figure out a way to make it nicer. So this before had like a hose clamped onto here, and then it ran out and around, then to the front of the motor. I've been going through numerous parts store supplies of these coolant crossover tubes, and I've been trying to find one that works, but nothing so far has fit with the blower. And I think the only one that might fit is like a saline, whatever one that they send in the saline kit, which I'm having a hell of a time trying to locate. So I hate to admit this, but I think I'm gonna go back to a hose. We might take the water pump out, knock this off, and maybe weld like a bung onto this, so at least has a nipple on it to grab on. But that's in the works. All right, guys, so I'm still working on the 2-valve, just kind of prepping it to put the engine in tomorrow, and going through some wiring, trying to just clean it up. I mean, I think the majority of why people are bringing their cars to us is that we're just kind of over anal about a lot of stuff. So just gonna share with you a couple things I've been working on cleaning up, and some things we're gonna change. So this has like a painless, potted, weatherproof, which is nice. I'm not sure where these accessory wires are going to. They're going into the car, so I gotta follow that. This blue one is being used as a power to the intercooler pump, which it needs a little repair work there, which is a bit like down below this headlight, and there's no way to take it off, so I just cut it and I put a weather pack on there, so we'll be able to remove that. It was running like right here, and I want to change that. I want to kind of, there's a wrench hiding in there. So I kind of want to hide that. I don't know if I'll run it up in here or how I want to change it, but I want to tuck that away. I'm going to tuck this hood prop in the fender like I kind of do on all of them. It just kind of makes it look kind of cleaner in here. There was also this wire. This was the huge loom that was on that single blue wire, so we're going to get rid of that. There's also like a wire, I don't know, it looked like it was almost for like a block heater or something. It wasn't plugged into anything, nor has it ever been. That was all corroded. So that's gone. Just kind of taking some stuff out that's in the way. We're going to change these. I do not like this style. So those will go away. Playing with the hot feed here. You know, I kind of want to put this in a different location. It was tucked down here. I'm not crazy about that either. And then this was just kind of like chilling up here, and then this kind of went over to here. I don't like that either. This is for the booster pump. So we're gonna change that, maybe mount it somewhere like this, or down over here, and run the wire up in the fender and out to the battery again. So that's going to change. You know, we're kind of changing a handful of these things. I just wanted to clean up a lot. There's so much shit that goes on in these engine bays, especially the modular stuff makes it look overcomplicated. So the more I can simplify it, the nicer it'll look, the happier John and John will be. So I'm kind of working on that, and I want it to be reliable. You know, all these vacuum lines on here, less than desirable, plugs and stuff, so we'll try to simplify that. And then, speaking of booster pump, the wiring for the booster pump is kind of dicey. You guys probably can't see, it's too dark in here, but I'll bring some light on this subject once we start working on it more, because I'm not really crazy on how that looks. So it might work, might not. They're thinking that the booster pump might have failed, which is what caused the engine failure potentially. So we got to actually, you know, make sure we double check that. I got the last stud out of the head that was stuck in there for the exhaust manifolds, and you know, aside from this auxiliary wiring stuff, we're pretty much ready to go. You know, it looks like a mess in here, but it's actually ready to accept an engine now. So I'm gonna take that call, fill you guys in once I get back with some hardware for the headers. All right, guys, we are continuing on the 2-valve project. Earlier in the video, you saw us putting the big engine together, and now we are finally getting it into the car, and we're doing it by a different way that we've usually done it. This is actually the first time I think I've done it this way, which was dropping the K-member out in total, strapping the engine to her, and now we're getting ready to lower the car down on top of it. It's actually going pretty well. We tried to go in through the top with the headers on it. There was no way that was going to happen, so this was alternative. And the headers were a pain to put on, so we're like, well, we don't want to take them off, and we RTV'd them on using copper, RTV copper, so didn't want to take those off. But now it's sitting in here, we're lowering the car down onto it. Got to line it up, and then we can start buttoning this thing up for the rest of the video. But it looks like it's gonna go straight in. Might be a little bit crooked. It's definitely interesting though. So we're gonna get this thing in, give you guys an update on what it looks like once it's in the car, bolted in, and we're gonna start putting the blower, supercharger, all that stuff back on it, and yeah. Making some progress. Also making progress on the Lightning. We're measuring for the intercooler to order. We got the engine, we got the heads back from TNT and Gurney. Those are ready to go, and we got like just a lot of projects up in the air, so we're starting to wrap them up this weekend. We'll come back with some more 2-valve content in just a moment. What's up, guys? That was actually pretty quick and easy. I should have set up a time lapse because it went well. But the engine is in, trans is in. Probably gonna throw the drive shaft in here pretty soon, just so the bottom drive line is buttoned up. We'll start messing with exhaust. But these headers, these are pace setter headers. They're like the cheapest ceramic coated long tubes we can find to fit the budget, and they actually fit really nice. I'm concerned that they are slip-on. I don't like that. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, so we'll see how that goes. But otherwise they fit in there really well. Engine's in, K-member's tight. Now we're getting the suspension back together. And yeah, should be sitting on the ground with an engine in it pretty soon here. Alright guys, so we're going to wrap this video up for the day. We're trying to bring you guys just a video of what we work on during the day. So this is the 2-valve project that you saw us been working on. And we got great headway on it. We got the Torque Tech plate on it. We got the engine installed. Everything fits good. You guys saw that the headers fit pretty well. We're the pace setter long tubes. I am less than impressed with the X pipe that comes with it. So we might end up doing some kind of custom work on it to make it fit nicer. But otherwise, the headers fit actually really good. They clear the steering shaft well, and now it just looks like a complete mess because we gotta start cleaning it up and do some wiring on it. And you know, next we're gonna put belts on it, tighten this down, and then start getting the intake manifold on so we can just kind of start wiring everything and finish it up. But otherwise, it's first time the engine has been in like, what, 4 months?
Maybe more.
Forever. I think they dropped this car off to us like the 31st of March or something. Crazy. But everything's going together pretty well. Not mad at it. Some wiring snafus that we found. I mean, this would work, but we're gonna redo that, clean that up. You guys saw me messing with the intercooler power wire already. We still haven't figured out where all this auxiliary block goes, so we'll be working on that. We did work on putting new terminals on so we can use different battery terminals, that not those big gold clanky ones. This thing's gonna go in here somewhere. Where does this go? Maybe like that? Yeah, like that. That'll hold that on. Then obviously we still have the tanks, radiator, and then all the cooling, because the cooling system for this thing is just as messy as the wiring. So we're gonna have to figure out how to make that look as nice as possible also. But hopefully we get it fired up this weekend. If not, very close to it.
Wouldn't see why not.
So tomorrow we're gonna be working on this, and we're gonna be bringing you guys a new video on some of the lighting. You see the grill is out of it. We're measuring for how large of an intercooler we can fit in that thing, which the answer is very large. There's so much room for activities in here. But tomorrow we're gonna put the two 351 and the 351, or the 427 side by side and work on that. Start getting some stuff. We got the heads back, so it's ready to go back together. And we got something special in the works for the stock 351. And I think we're all pretty excited about what we might do with it. But the 427 is slated to get built tomorrow. So we kind of have these two projects are in full speed ahead. The Lightning and the 2-valve. We're going to work on the rear end on the Lightning. But this video's
more or less wrapped up while you're doing that.
Yeah. Well guys, thanks for joining us on the progress so far on the 2-valve. If you have not done so already, make sure you subscribe down below so you can see this car finished and running. We can't wait to hear what it sounds like with these camshafts and the valve train that we put in it, and a little bit of compression and everything. It's gonna sound pretty good. But smash subscribe down below, leave us a comment on what you think, and we'll see you guys in a couple days in the next video showing you the update on the 2-valve.